What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. Happy Monday. This is where we get it started. It's the beginning of the week. Did y'all make y'all's list? I made my list. I have a list of things. Last week we talked about, how we going to move forward. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect things to be different type conversation. So for me, I said I was going to make a list. I'm making a list. I'm checking off things. This could go for anything you got going on. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to get your credit right, make a list. Take on those things one thing at a time. But that's last week's conversation, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed or if you think you're subscribed, go ahead and make sure. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Or in the words of, my girl Jessie Woo, subscribe, subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. We can come over here. I don't know where you at. You at your office. This is Coffee Talk. I am already caffeinated. So I'm on that H2 and the O. I'm going to start smoothies. That's my plan. That's on my list. So I don't know, like maybe later on this week, maybe, it'll be part of my routine next week. But yeah, we're going to start doing smoothies over here because I'm not a breakfast person. So some of y'all was turning me on, to the smoothie game. And I feel like, especially on the days that I have to work, away from home, I feel like a smoothie would be right there, the thing I need to get me started without getting me too caught up in trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat for breakfast, child. Anyway, where we gonna start? Let's start here. Once you start looking at people's spirit versus their appearance, they start looking very different. I can't think of a more truer statement. I feel like, especially where celebrities are concerned. Good morning, T. You got your mucha matcha? What you doing this morning? Is it tea? Is it caffeinated, or is it your mucha matcha? Like I said, I'm on the H2O, so I gotta get. You ever wake up cloudy? I did a lot yesterday, and I didn't really sleep well. Um, I don't know why. It just was one of those nights where I didn't really get great sleep. So this morning I'm feeling a little cloudy. And I feel like once I start drinking water, I get the cloudiness up out of my system. Also, I took allergy medicine, and allergy medicine it doesn't make me drowsy, but it definitely makes me cloudy the next day, or whenever I wake up from taking allergy medicine. Anyway, once you start looking at people's spirit versus their appearance, they start looking different. I think that, like, definitely holds true with what we got going on in this world of celebrities. The celebrities, like, and I feel like we're attracted to them based on their appearance. We like their beauty. We like, their physique. We like their style, the flashy, labels that they wear. We have different reasons for being attracted to celebrities, but if we start looking at their spirit versus their appearance, we will probably be in a much better place. I feel like when I say this, it makes me think about Robin Dixon and Giselle. What's her name? Bryant. Giselle Bryant, Robin Dixon are two examples of people who are, conventionally beautiful. You can't take that away from them. They're two very good looking women, but I feel so much nastiness from their spirit that I can't really focus on their beauty much. I don't even find them to be, as beautiful as I did initially meeting them. Another person that comes to mind is Letitia Pearson. If you watch Belle Collective, she's a really pretty lady with a very ugly spirit. And so it's hard to root for her, because she's such a nasty spirited person that, you start feeling like her karma is exactly what she deserves. So when she over here, fighting for her independency, and we're like, get it, girl. On one hand, on the other hand, we're like, girl, have the day that you deserve. So if you're out here living in a superficial mindset, and I'm in the beauty industry, I see it, you know what I'm saying, on everyday basis. I've seen people, and I feel like it's not just there, but it's very prevalent there. People with very nasty spirits versus, people who are in a good spirit, and how you view them. I remember I used to work in a salon with the young lady who used to always say, "She's pretty, she's pretty, she's pretty." And I would be like, I'm gonna say her name. I would be like, Olga, everybody is not pretty. And Olga was a very pretty lady, but she was also a very beautiful spirited person. She's still alive. I'm saying was, but when I worked with her. So yeah, I would be like, girl, you always saying somebody pretty. And I realized that she finds people beautiful based on how they act versus what they look like. So for me, early on, that was a lesson learned. Like, you have to look at people for what they're bringing to you, and I'm saying that again because we can be very caught up in what these celebrities are doing. And I feel like over the last, since Cat Williams came out, told y'all it was all getting ready to come to light. I feel like a lot of people that we liked is no longer the case. So, I can only speak for myself because I'm honestly like not fooling with these people that are not aligned with any type of morality monitor. I don't care how you worship. I don't care what your politics are. Right now, your politics matter. It, says a lot about, what you carry in your spirit. So I just know what I need around me and what I want around me, and I'm going to move accordingly. And hopefully y'all will too. So that being said, let's get into the things that we came over here to discuss. Good morning, El Cid. It's been a minute. El Cid been so busy, child. I don't know where she has the time to do the things that she does aside from, getting all around the world blindly loving and things. She also was like out on the road doing, live correspondence from where she was at. Elsa is very secretive, so I don't be wanting to tell her business. You know what I'm saying? I think it was kind of public. She was over there in Texas. That's all I'm going to say because, it be very, low key over there with El Cid. But if you want to know what she got going on, you go ahead and check her out at El Cid 932, and she'll get you into all the things, all over the world, especially as it relates to dating. Good morning, High Vibe. It's good to see you here. I'm always excited to hear your input. We got some things to get into today. Yep, she was in Texas. Texas is enough. I'm telling you, gotta be careful. You can't be telling people's business. And I'm that kind of friend that, I'm a vault. So when you tell me something, I'm not out here sharing it with the people. It's just something, that stays between me and you. And if you decide to share it, well then, yeah, that's what we're going to do. She said for y'all to like and share and subscribe. And I would appreciate, if y'all go ahead and do that. She said her members know all her business. Well, I'm a member, so therefore I have the keys to the vault. Whew. Let's get into the things, y'all. What we do over here. We get into the things that are, a little bit of celebrity gossip, a little bit of current events, and a little bit of things that are Black history and Black excellence. Because, if we don't talk about it, who's going to talk about it? Not them, but we do. So we're going to start here. DeKalb County School opens its first ever free grocery store at Martin Luther King Jr. High. The Lion's Den Grocery provides fresh food for students and families in need. Love this. We got to take care of our community, and it seems like, simple, trying to eat and get somewhere. We are down to the very basics trying to survive out here. So, when you have a school district that's putting forth into their community, I'm always here for that. In partnership with, this is one hell of a sentence, so bear with me. In partnership with the city of Stonecrest and nonprofit Good Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. High School in DeKalb County has opened the Lion's Den Grocery Store, the district's first ever free grocery store for students and their families. This initiative brings fresh produce, meats, pantry staples, and more directly into the schools in a space built on dignity and respect. With 1,400 students enrolled and nearly half of the Black households in the area struggling to afford basic necessities, this isn't just a convenience, it's access. We wanted to remove distractions like hunger from the classroom so students can truly focus on learning. Shared shared Stonecrest Mayor Jasmine Cobble. Initially serving 25 to 50 families, the goal is to expand over time and provide a lifeline that supports academic performance, emotional well being, and community resilience. I wonder how this works. I mean, I guess, they have their people, their students that are enrolled. Um, but I wonder how it works, as far as like just the whole, because I see all kinds of groceries. I see all kinds of, they even have sneakers in there for, some of them kids probably don't have new shoes. And it's sad out there, but it's also like admirable that this community got together to make this happen. And we're going to have to do it one community at a time. The way things are going right now, every community, and I have donated to the food pantry. I have a bag right now of baby clothes because the kids grow out their clothes so fast. And there's some mother somewhere who can't clothe, their children. So, we donate, but I feel like programs like this, they just need money. You know what I'm saying? So they can have a specific nutritional list of things that they maintain, for the kids. Elsa said, hunger in the classroom is truly a problem. The government used to pay for all the meals for the kids. They used to, but the government ain't paying for nothing. It don't seem like these days, not here. Seems like they're paying for stuff other places. So yeah, as communities, we got to get in there. And I would also say based on needs, like hunger is definitely an issue. I have a friend who is a teacher in New York, and she got in trouble, because she was bringing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and stuff for these kids to eat in the morning. So is even as teachers, who the expectation is to, teach the kids, be a mentor for the kids, inspire the kids, buy all the supplies. That when I was an educator, and this isn't for elementary school, this was on, college level after, it's a trade school, but still, I had to purchase things out of pocket in order to, I remember a time when at this particular school that I was working at, it was like a month or two into their program, and somewhere along the line they was not getting their supplies, and it had something to do with administration not hiring people, and it was a whole mess. So as educators, we were responsible to engage and keep these kids interested after they've just spent their $20,000 signed contracts and things and not getting the supplies they need. And we were told, y'all are creative, you'll figure it out. Each kid has a max of how much they can spend weekly. Is that how the program works? They get a siphon of a certain amount of money, and that's cool. I just was like, how does that even work? But like I said, I feel like all schools can probably use that, especially in communities where obviously they're lower income communities, but they're snatching away, SNAP benefits and things. So yeah, we got to get together as communities, even just within your own community. Maybe you live in a place where, food is not necessarily the issue, where I feel like there should always be some type of at least breakfast situation for the kids. Some kids, come from single parent households. They got to get up extra early, be dropped off early and have breakfast at school. So I definitely think those things are important. So shout out to Georgia. What part of Georgia is that? DeKalb County. I used to live in DeKalb County. Shout out to DeKalb County for, doing what they need to do to get these kids fed. Speaking of kids, I never really watched Blackish, but I'm familiar with the show. But I do know Marsha. Marsha Martin reportedly never spent the money she earned as a child star. Her parents invested it and taught her financial literacy. And now at 21, she's a multi-millionaire. Shout out to her mama and daddy. And what a beautiful woman she has turned out to be. Goodness gracious, that's a pretty girl. Marsha Martin reportedly never spent the money she earned as a child star. Her parents invested it and taught her financial literacy, and now she's a multimillionaire. This first comment, it resonated with me. It says that's because her parents weren't using her to provide as the provider. They were already able to provide and continue to do so. I think that's really important. You know, when you have these kids in entertainment, it's so scary, first of all. So you absolutely have to have parents that are involved. Multimillionaire. That's what they said. And she's also like the youngest producer, I think, of oh, that movie that she did with, I think it was Issa Rae, where they did like a, what do you call it, Freaky Friday type switch thing. It was a cute movie, but I think she was the executive producer on that. These parents in general, some kids are just so naturally talented and it's meant to be, and you can see it in them, in the way they dance and the way they perform. And I don't want to take away from the art, you know what I'm saying, that some kids are deserving of, but you have to have parents who, first of all, are involved, and you got to be there every step of the way, not handing your kids over to Puffy, Usher's mama. You know what I'm saying? Or anyone, Puffy, Michael Jackson, I don't care. Mother Teresa, you should be there with your children. You do not know what's going on. And if you're a parent that gets threatened with they can't participate if you're going to be around, then they can't participate. The end of discussion. Everything ain't for everyone. But if you're a parent that's relying financially on your child, it becomes a blurry line where this kid, maybe, you know how you put your kids in ballet or you put them in soccer and, or, you know, whatever extracurricular activity, just on a regular level. And I know my middle child, my oldest daughter, she would be like, I want to do soccer. I want to do track. She didn't want to run. She just wanted to do it. I want to do dance. That was fun. I want to do something else. She wasn't really committed to any of it. She just wanted to have a good time. So there's a point as a parent where you say, you want to play football? Okay, fine. But when they don't want to play football anymore, I don't feel like they should have to. You can't be forcing them. They're kids. They're discovering what they want to do. So when you become financially reliant on your kid, it comes a slippery slope of decision making. So shout out to her parents, and yeah, we'd love to see more of that. I'm glad to hear a positive story about a Hollywood kid, because there's so many disastrous stories going on out there, especially as the kids are vulnerable. We got spring break coming up. And Atlanta police say the parents will be charged if their youth participates in this weekend's teen takeover events. Y'all, these kids, what the hell? I've just been hearing about this lately. The Atlanta Police Department and multiple metro area law enforcement agencies have issued a strict warning that parents will be held criminally responsible if their children participate in unauthorized teen takeover events planned for this weekend. Last week, 19 were arrested. I would say I'm mad at this, but I'm kind of not mad at it, because there are different events planned for the kids, but they want to, like, just for the sake of takeover, I guess. It happened down here. All these kids planned a teen takeover at one of these water parks. I forget which one it was, but whichever one it is, it wasn't a Disney one. H2O, I can't remember. One of these water parks, they decided they was going to go take over. Well, the park itself is not that big. And any time of the year, not during teen takeover, you could go to any of these water parks. We got about 4 of them. When it's like a holiday weekend or something, the capacity is done. Like 10 o'clock in the morning, if you don't get there extra early, you're probably not going to make it. So we had all these kids running around. Parents dropped them off, traffic everywhere. Imagine like working there. And I heard a lot of the kids that work, at the water park, like, this is horrible. This is not a good day, for these people just wilding out, coming to take over. So y'all need to find something to do. Like, there's enough places, we used to do spring break, but it turned into a whole thing. When I was doing spring break, it was just, a gathering of fun. But, right now, especially if y'all's black kids is about to, take over and load up somewhere, this is an excuse to, arrest y'all. I don't know if the kids are getting arrested, but now they're coming for the parents. So, you know, FYI, mamas and daddies, don't end up, in the pokey because your kids is out here teen taking over. That sounds like a nightmare as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to be took over by no teens. I don't care what race they are or where they came from. None of them know how to act half the time. Speaking of teens, this is absolutely horrible. This is terrifying. Um, and this doesn't just affect immigrants. I think there's like a huge rush with these frozen water people to be snatching up people, whether they're immigrants or not, and then placing them in detention centers until, you know what I mean? So right now, ICE to relocate all underage female detainees to a disclosed island after dozens test pregnant. Due to many underage girls testing positive for pregnancy at multiple ICE detention facilities, the ICE plans to relocate all underage female detainees to an undisclosed island for safeguarding. Really? Which island would that be? This is where this whole shit started. Now they're doing it like in front of your face. They're taking 13-year-old girls who turned up pregnant while they were detained. How did that happen? It's being called safeguarding measures. I don't care what you call it. It's called trafficking as far as I'm concerned. In your face trafficking. Look, we can snatch these girls and take them to somewhere and y'all can't do nothing about it. That's terrifying. When you move vulnerable minors to a secret location with no oversight, the word safeguarding loses all meaning. Reports already confirming that pregnant teenagers as young as 13, many impregnated by grape. I don't know why they're saying many, because if they're over there being detained and they turn up pregnant, then that's grape. All of them, not many, all of them are being transferred to facilities in states where abortion is banned with no exceptions. So not only are they being impregnated by these goons, terrorists, monsters, ICE agents, Klans members, and, degenerate blacks and others that want to be a part of this organization. They're taking to states where, there can't even be nothing done about these pregnancies. So now they're pregnant in detention center by some monster that probably graped them with a mask on. And now they're being sent to an undisclosed island for safekeeping. Get out of here with that. Whew. Lawyers and advocates warn these girls are being trapped without access to reproductive care, placed in facilities that our federal officials themselves previously flagged as lacking necessary specialized medical attention. Now the proposed solution is undisclosed island, where there's no journalists, no advocates, no oversight, and there is no safeguarding. This is via your president, but don't he eat people? Isn't that what they're over there doing? Yes, Epstein. Let's see. You say the teens need to take over the shower. You're talking about the teen takeover. Yeah, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be bothered with all them teens running all over the place. Yeah, so are they using Epstein Island once again to, kidnap and traffic young girls? This relocating of teens is proof that there's another way to feed their system. Yes, another way to feed their system. They're going to use this detention center. They're going to use kids that already have been using, kids that are in the welfare system using excuses like this. Okay, let's talk about the teen takeover. This is where things get to be a slippery slope because I would not want to be involved in dealing with teens on a takeover. However, this is a situation where now they're arresting the parents. That means these kids have where to go. That means they're detained. They are not immigrants, but they are more than likely black, and they're being detained. And then what happens? Your child is at an undisclosed island, and you can't do nothing about it. and they're not an immigrant, you just, until further notice, that's just, what it's going to be. Let's see. Oh, y'all had a whole conversation over here. You said, well, those kids will be citizens since the icy daddies are Americans. Yeah, yeah. So now you have children. I mean, but it's a cycle. Like, just like back in slavery where, slaves were being impregnated and, for means of more labor. You know what I'm saying? So, ugh, what a mess. What a mess. When is it going to end? Safeguarding them from who? El Presidente and his goons. The same ones who impregnated them. What are they going to do with the babies? They'll be in camps, in systems, ready to go, what do they call it? Recycle them back into the system where they'll know nothing different besides being a slave. It's just gross. Palm Beach Pete. Yeah. Palm Beach Pete be running around here, proud to be Epstein lookalike. Who's investigating the predators? No one. We can't even see them. The only time you see what ICE agents look like is down to the airport where they send all the black ones who have no business, being a part of that organization in the first place. DNA will tell you who some of the violators are. It's going to take a while for that to happen, though, because they're being protected. It's just gross and it's sad. And then for them to say some of them, what do you mean some of them? If I went in there as a teenager and I wasn't pregnant, then surely I wasn't in there like trying to seduce an ICE agent. Give me a break. Ugh. What else we got going on? What did you say? The plantation never closed. The plantation never closed. That's for dang sure. You said the real question is in the press about the real question in press about this. The real quiet. Child. I'm trying to read. It's real quiet in the press about this. It is real quiet. Well, it's also real quiet about what's going on in Cuba. The last thing we heard, the man said he was going to take over or do whatever he wants. And, seemingly we're not talking about it. And they want to shut us up from having any modems and any kind of contact from information from outside this country. So we're, according to them, we're doing great. We're getting control. The wars, it's all great. Don't worry about them kids. They're in an undisclosed island. So everything's cool. Let's get into this TSA conversation. Ugh. Elstead, you were traveling out there. You'll have to let us know how that was for you. Anyway, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aimed at paying TSA agents both their current wages and back pay as the partial government shutdown continues. At this point, I don't know why they're still going to work. I feel like they should just all stay home. Shut it down for real. Because why am I going if I can't get paid? In hopes of what? This discussion that's going back and forth with who's getting paid and who's not getting paid. They're trying to make it so confusing that you don't even know, are they getting paid or not? They're not. They just keep talking about it. One line from Trump's executive order reads, since the shutdown began, nearly 500 transportation security officers have left their positions and thousands more have begun to call in sick at record rates due to the lack of pay. As a result, security wait times at some airports have reached untenable lengths of 3 or more hours. The increased wait times combined with declining morale among TSA staff unacceptably heighten the risk of security vulnerabilities within our domestic travel system and have negatively impacted the countless Americans. Y'all clearly don't give a crap about Americans. So that's why it ain't. Y'all got private jets and things. So there's no issue for you. The move comes just after GOP-led House rejected a Senate-approved measure that would have funded the entire Department of Homeland Security through the end of fiscal year, with the exception of ICE and Border Patrol. It remains unclear how Trump administration plans to get those payments out or where the money will come from. Why is it so? What is so confusing? Why are we so unclear? And it's because y'all don't want them. You don't want it. You want to take over TSA. Let's hear what this lady has to say.
President basically putting the language behind what he announced last night, this plan to pay TSA workers with the partial government shutdown dragging on. Still not a lot of clarity, as a lot of your other show guests have described, on how exactly that's going to happen, what mechanism it's going to happen through. He mentions the Office of Management and Budget, obviously, but what bucket do they pull the cash from, basically? But one line in this memo that stood out to me, I'll just read it briefly. Since the shutdown began, nearly 500 transportation security officers have left their positions, and thousands more have begun to call out sick at record rates due to lack of pay. As a result, security wait times at some airports have reached untenable lengths of 3 or more hours. The increased wait times, combined with declining morale among TSA staff, unacceptably heightened the risk of security vulnerabilities within our domestic travel system and has negatively impacted countless Americans. So that's what the president signed. And that tells me that some of the reporting that we saw this morning and last night might be accurate, that he was worried about potentially mass walkouts of TSA officers because of this unreliable pay situation. You've had now nearly 500 walk off the job since this shutdown began because they can't depend on whether they're going to get paid or not. Depends on if the sun is shining over Capitol Hill. And that represents, as he notes, a security risk, given especially this heightened terror environment. We've not yet heard from the president any sort of opinion on what the Senate passed and whether he wanted the House to choose the course they did, basically rejecting it. And we also don't know the level of sort of certainty that this executive order is going to bridge that gap and actually result in paychecks, or how soon that could happen. But with the Senate now gone and the House trying to put something across the finish line that would punt this issue back to the Senate, it certainly looks like Republican leadership is going to be under some pressure to, not be the last one holding the hot potato. Hey there, Sandra. Yeah, we just got.
I mean, they're holding the hot potato. That's for darn sure. It's just unfortunate that they're playing with people's lives. Like, this isn't, that's why I said I don't know why they keep going. You said they, hey, Motown investor, you said they call off in mass, they do mass call offs so they don't get fired. But I mean, they're still not getting paid, though. That's the thing that's crazy. Let's see some of the stuff that y'all are saying over here. Druski need to put on an icy uniform. I mean, yeah, since he's gotten their full attention. Imagine that. Druski has gotten their full attention. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. You said Trump let the trucks from Russia go to Cuba yesterday to give them fuel. Yeah, he does little stuff like that to make it seem like he's some type of hero. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you kidnap me, put me in a closet, don't feed me for weeks, and then slide some bread under the door and be like, look at the good thing I did. That's what's happening. It's a ton of Cubans over here, though, supporting their cause, supporting their president. So, y'all got it. I'm a stay out of it. Elsie said in the airport was 2 hours and 18 minutes last Monday at the pre-check line. Yeah, that's long at the pre-check line, though. The pre-check line is supposed to be your fast line. That's wild. Stop Congress. I agree 100%. Stop Congress paychecks, and this will be resolved quick, fast. And that should be the amendment to government shutdown process. Yeah, and Delta did shut down their privileges, and then they got in there real quick. So I don't know how effective that has been, but Delta told them they're going to have to stand in line over there. And I feel like they don't really fly Southwest. So yes, cut their paychecks, and then give the money to TSA. I'm so confused as to why they don't understand where the money. Where are we going to get the money? Y'all got money. How about this? How about we release the young girls from the detention centers that y'all have impregnated and sent over to an undisclosed island? That all sounds like it costs money. Yeah, they can fire them. They would have to fire me because I wouldn't go back, child. They, McDonald's paying $15 an hour. Elsie said, child, I'll be clicking on some. It's just don't even make sense. Delta took away Congress perks, so they had to stand at TSA lines. Yeah, they need to still take. I'm with high vibes. They need to take away that paycheck. Take away their paycheck. It's interfering with their decision making. Send their paychecks over to these schools so the kids can have some breakfast. TSA works not paid can't pay their daycare. Yeah, they can't pay anything. And like I said, most people live in paycheck to paycheck anyway. So, now your kids can't. I got to stay home because I got to watch my kids because I'm not getting paid. What about, the electric company? They don't care. Water company, they go shut your stuff off. He's blaming the Democrats, but the Republicans has the majority of the House. And the sad part about that is all he has to do is say it. All he has to do is say it's the Democrats' fault. And these clowns want to get down to, social media and everywhere and repeat that nonsense. Just dumb. Tell them what he's trying to pass in the bill to be rejected. I feel like they don't care. This is part of the 2025 project. So, they're knocking things off their list one little bit at a time. You said, I don't want to fly because of staffing ratios with the air traffic controllers, human error. Yeah. And remember when he first got in and started firing everybody at air traffic control, and then, things went haywire. Now we have a vulnerable security system, and every country outside of the United States don't like us. Like, we are very vulnerable. And then, you could get in your car and drive to somewhere as long as you don't have to go through sundown towns and things. It's just a mess. I'm going to just stay in my house and be on the internet. It's not safe here either. Whew. Well, your boy Tyler was out here trying to do damage control on his reputation as far as I'm concerned. Tyler, you know how they say all money ain't good money? I would have took his money, and still, I still believe the things that they said you did, Tyler. So Tyler Perry was recently seen at Atlanta's airport trying to show love to TSA agents by handing out money, but it didn't go how he planned. What was his plan? I don't think there was any plan except for him to be in the media, as much like how Trump moves. He wanted to be over here in the media so people could say Tyler Perry was trying to do the right thing by these TSA agents by showing up at their job with bags of cash to wreak havoc on, a situation that's already bad. Tyler Perry. Due to ongoing government shutdown, officers have been working without pay since mid-February. Whew, dang, we all the way to April. It's been over 40 days since workers have gone without a paycheck. According to reports, around 50,000 TSA employees are still showing up to work unpaid while struggling to cover basic bills. God bless them. According to 11 Alive, Perry was spotted with a team and a significant amount of cash to give out to agents before it was shut down. Despite the kind gesture, TSA officers are not allowed to accept cash or gifts while on duty, so they had to turn him down. Okay, it says while on duty. I feel like, Tyler, why didn't you hold an event for TSA agents while they're not on duty? You know what I'm saying? So that they can receive this gift. Because, I don't know that you could show up at many people's job with cash, You know what I'm saying? Because then it looks like if I give you cash, then I can get past this line. I'm sure that's why those rules are put into place. But you could have held a TSA event down to Tyler Perry Studios. Um, let's not forget the insider trading that has been exposed prior to striking Iran. They just been exposed on every front, and nothing is being done about it. At this point, I'm wondering, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they snatching kids, they doing all kinds of just flagrant nastiness in our face, and nothing is being done about it. Who you gonna call? The police? I don't know how much the help that's gonna be. Whew. Anyway, I feel like Tyler Perry was showboating because he's got himself in a lot of cases for, asking these young men to bend over for Hennessy. And now he's over here trying to clean it up by doing this. And I just think, there was a better way to do it. So he tried a different method. Tyler Perry did. He went over here and instead of cash, he decided that he was going to try gift cards. So he says, I originally attempted to hand out cash to TSA agents on Thursday, March 26th, to support those working without pay during a 6-week government shutdown. After being told federal rules prohibited accepting cash, Perry's team reportedly worked through legal and human resource channels to distribute Visa gift cards instead. He gifted approximately 250 workers with $1,000 cards, each totaling $250,000 donation. Over the weekend, the airport federal security director raised concern that the gifts might still violate strict federal ethics laws, which generally prohibits employees from accepting gifts valued at more than $20 from a single source. Get out of here with that. $20? What am I going to do with $20? I can't even get no gas really with $20. Employers reportedly began receiving calls and texts instructing them to return the cards. This has caused significant distress as some workers had already used portions of the funds for basic necessities like groceries and bills. Come find my card. That's what I say. Come find mine, because I'm not going to give it back. I'm not giving back my $1,000 card. And I don't know where he passed these out at. I think 250,000. Wow, Tyler Perry is not enough. Go ahead and give another 250,000. Have an event where they're not at work, so these people cannot be regulating what kind of money they got. Bring your TSA identification down to this event at Tyler Perry Studios, and you will receive $1,000. And if you already received $1,000, then you can get another one. What card? You didn't get no card. You didn't go down to the. You weren't at the right place. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe you work for TSA. I mean, I feel like I know a lot about you, and we have never discussed your employment at TSA. Yeah, Tyler Perry, give some more. We still think you did what they said you did, but these people need money. So, they say all money ain't good money. This money is fine. Take it. Go get your groceries. Go pay your bills. And especially if you still running down to this airport to work for the government, because they don't care. And then they mad because they feel like, they're circumventing the whole plan in the first place. If these people are getting paid, or if these people are not getting paid, then, get out the way. That would be my response if I was a TSA. Right. What card? I didn't get no card. What you talking about? I wasn't there that day. I had called off sick. Tyler Perry, get some more of these cards for these folks, because that's crazy. $1,000 is nothing. That ain't even somebody's mortgage. All you can do is pay a bill, and you can't pay your rent. You can get some gas, get some groceries, and pay a bill. Yeah, Tyler, let's get another 250,000. You got it. You're a billionaire. You just sold BET. I feel like, let's go ahead and get them caught up. Let's sit down with these TSA agents. He repping Atlanta. I don't know. There's other people in other cities. But yeah, let's do better, Tyler Perry. That's $1,000. Get out of here with that. Y'all see Tiger Woods? Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. So Tiger Woods is out here crashing his car into things again. Um, Keep the lights on, get gas and food. Yeah. And screw them talking about you give the card back. I'm with T. What card is you talking about? Shut up. And this is the thing. A gift card doesn't have your name on it. It just says gift card. And then you scratch off the thing. The inside, there's no tracking. It can say Tyler Perry, but I don't know. I could let my mama do it. My mama got the card. So y'all can get with that. Yeah, y'all, Tyler, like I said, we need another card. So this man here. This man here was out here operating the vehicle. So, funny story. Back in the day, I used to cut this golfer's hair, Gooseman. I'm not a golfer. I did not cut his hair. I cut his wife's hair. And he played with Tiger Woods. And so whenever they were here for, whatever golf tournament was going on, she would come and get her hair done. I can't even remember her name at this point. I think it was Tracy, but it's been many years ago. And her nanny would take care of her kids while, she would be getting her hair done. And her nanny was actually Tiger Woods' wife. And she was like, how people be talking, get their hair done. And she was like, Tiger's very nice, da da da. I'm going to introduce my nanny to him. Fast forward to the nanny married Tiger and they had 2 kids. He was smart not to do a breath test. I think he eventually did. So I'm going to tell you the story. But I don't think it was alcohol. Tiger be out here on that Ambien and whatever else. And I've never taken Ambien, but I've heard some stories about how people don't know where they at and what they're doing when it comes to Ambien. So let me pull up this story right quick because he done ran into another vehicle. This is beginning to be a regular thing for Tiger. Oof. I ain't never liked Tiger. And so whenever he gets in trouble, I care not. But I feel like his license should be revoked. I don't even know why we're still letting Tiger Woods operate motor vehicles because, he's out of control. But Tiger Woods isn't interested in a chauffeur, and a source close to the situation said his desire for privacy is the reason why. Days after the golf legend was arrested and charged with DUI with property damage near Jupiter Island, Florida on March 27th. Damn, a lot of stuff happened this weekend. People magazine is reporting exclusively that Woods has declined to hire a personal driver despite the incident because that's just stupidness and arrogance. According to the source, Woods, 50, doesn't want anyone to watch over him or know what he's doing. What is he doing that he can't have a driver? Tiger Woods, what are you doing? Adding that he thinks he's fine to drive. Clearly not. Every time you drive, your vehicle ends up in a ditch or up around a tree. Shout out to Karen Huger. Y'all, I have a picture of Karen Huger. I think I'm going to share at the end of this. Where is Tiger's kids? Ain't none of them old enough to get him. They're 17 and 18. They both got a driver's license, but we got to have a pretend image like his kids ain't got the internet. This is embarrassing. They're probably with their mama. I don't know that they spend that much time with their daddy. Anyway, the March 27th crash involved Woods' Land Rover and a pressure cleaning truck. He ran into the street sweeper? According to Martin County Sheriff John M. Budenzik, while Woods was confirmed to have exhibited signs of impairment, authorities stated that they were not suspicious of alcohol being involved, a detail that proved accurate when Woods blew a 000. So he did blow, I guess, once he got to the jailhouse. He blew 000 on the breathalyzer at jail. He was also charged with refusal to submit a lawful test. I feel like that's the test that would have showed what he was actually under the influence of. And certain stuff, like marijuana stays for 30 days or so, but certain stuff like other drugs be out of your system within 72 hours. Woods bonded out and was released from Martin County Jail the same day. Yeah, of course. He wrote them a check or whatever they do over there when they got lots of money. The source describes Woods as intensely private, says he's not a social butterfly and prefers to hang around his home with his kids. His kids are 18 and 17 years old. They are not hanging around home. That's not what teenagers do. So they hanging around with Tiger? I doubt it. He's hanging with his kids or hitting balls or playing video games. Tiger Woods be playing video games, adding that he despises the public scrutiny. Well, every time he comes out in the public, he, wrecks a car, runs into street sweepers and things. A representative for Woods did not respond to people's requests for comment. This is not Woods' first brush with legal trouble behind the wheel. He was previously charged with DUI in 2017 after police found him asleep in his car in Jupiter Island, ultimately pleading guilty to reckless driving and receiving a fine, 1-year probation, and entering a diversion program. He's also been involved in 2 other car accidents in 2021, crashing in Los Angeles that required surgery, and in 2009 incident near his Florida residence. On that personal, was that when his wife bust him upside the head with the golf club? Was he under the influence then? I feel like 2009 sounds about when that stuff all came out. So, I don't know that he was under the influence. Maybe he came home under the influence and the lady bust him upside the head. We don't know. But anyway, none of it has caused him to lose his license. On a personal front, this is funny that they added this. This has nothing to do with Tiger, wrecking his car and running into the street sweeper. On a personal front, the source notes that Tiger Woods is currently dating Vanessa Trump. Did y'all know that? That's his girl, Vanessa Trump, 48, and that she has settled right into their dating life. Woods shares 2 teenage children, daughter Sam, 18, and son Charlie, 17, with ex-wife Elon Nordegren. This is Donald Jr.'s ex-wife. So I feel like, does she stay in the house playing video games? Is she a recluse as well? Does Donald Trump's grandchildren be around Tiger's house with all those drugs and alcohol things that he maybe or may not have over there, because he doesn't like to go in the public, but he definitely stays under the influence. So Tiger, I don't know, bro. I don't know what he's doing that he feels like he wants to be so private. He doesn't want anybody to know what he's doing. She got some strong arms. Ooh, she might need them to drag her man's car out of a ditch, because that's where it keeps on being ended up at. On to more celebrity news. I think we're done with the with the government. Oh, not really. We're not really done. It's your boy Druski.
Franchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs.
Don't let anyone disenfranchise you because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't.
To all the young white male men out there, Erika Kirk has your back. What y'all say? Oh, goodness. Well, now I really don't give a damn. Stay chasing snow bunnies. Yeah, he do. Kabalasian. We don't want no Kabalasians either. They don't age well. When you get involved with a Kabalasian, they got big teeth and baggy, saggy eyes, and look at that. Ugh. I don't want it. Tiger needs to get his hairline right. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need a hairline. He's just not supposed to leave the house. Druski is over here. This is so funny to me because I feel like Oh, my bad. I feel like what's her name? Erika Kirk. I feel like she's upset because Druski looked just like her. He looked just like her. He never said her name. He did like kind of parody. Well, he didn't kind of do it. He definitely parodied some of her speeches, shout out to the white mailman. She looked at Druski and she saw herself because that's what she looked like. And this is the kind of weirdo stuff that she's talking. And they sure don't like it. Why don't they stand on business? That's what I want to know. Why don't they stand on business? Y'all be so proud to do the things that you're doing. But at the same time, you get embarrassed if somebody calls you out. Druski never mentioned her name. He just stole her face because she damn sure look like that. That's what she hates. She hates that when she looks at Druski, she sees herself. Stand on business. You know what I'm saying? Why are y'all dialing it back? I don't understand. Just say I'm racist. She said somewhere like, tweet or something that if I put on blackface, then y'all would call me racist. Because you are. So, and this is the thing, put on blackface then. I feel like y'all are doing way worse things. So if that's what you want to do, if that's going to make you feel better, put on a blackface because that's what you really want. It's the magic and the melanin that makes y'all so mad. Clearly, that's what it is. So Druski, shout out to Druski. I think this was definitely career changing for Druski because all they did was put him out there. Druski been doing this for a long time. He been, and then they tried to call him racist or whatever, but Druski put out a picture of him and his white grandfather. I did not know he was biracial. So, does that give him a pass? You say white men are disenfranchised. Yes, they are so, what do they call it? Oh my goodness. This is funny because Druski is biracial. And so, according to Amber Rose, biracial people shouldn't even be considered black. We shouldn't even be calling them black anyway. So, I like I said, if it's going to make you feel better to put on blackface, girl, you still going to look like Druski. If Erika Kirk, this is the issue. Whiteface, if you put on blackface, you still gonna look like Druski. That is freaking funny, and you hate it. Speaking of biracial, I'm gonna skip around a little bit. Your boy Nick Cannon was over here having a conversation with biracial Amber Rose. I can't stand Amber Rose. So, she's a big old slut that turned into a handmaid. Isn't it interesting that her whole this whole slut walk thing that she defended so much and for women's rights and we need to stand up and don't let people tell us how we're supposed to appear. Well, she doesn't want to appear black. She's not black. She doesn't feel like biracial people should be forced to be considered black.
Party.
That's right. Former Democrat, former liberal.
Yeah.
I was a liberal Democrat my whole life.
Is that because the bag has got so intense and so heavy that you had a whole nother, you up there with the elite now?
Not even close. Not even close. Democrats don't care about black people.
Okay,
and they don't care about people. They don't care about people of color. And the Republicans do, and that's the misconception.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%.
Thank you,
People don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK.
Yep.
People don't know that the Republicans are the party that freed the slaves.
Yep.
I mean, both of you and I have some conservative views. You just a little bit more outspoken about it than I am. And I don't subscribe to either party. I rock with W.E.B. Du Bois when he said there's no such thing as two parties. It's just one evil party with two different names. Part of the Republican Party.
I find it interesting that Nick Cannon is calling himself a conservative with 12 kids and 8 baby mamas. So please show me where your conservative lifestyle appear because we don't see it. This first comment is the sentiment I feel like a lot of us have. Nick Cannon's ignorant ass only telling part of the story. So just, for further information that Nick is not sharing, yes, we know the Republican Party was the party that wanted to end slavery, and Democratic Party fought to keep it. But where Nick is being disingenuous is that he's pretending party ideologies never shifted. That's the fact that this Republican Party today is almost total opposite of what they used to be. And Democrats actually shifted towards fighting for equality, no matter your race. So yes, a nice trivia question, and he's technically right. But to pretend in 2026 that the Republican Party today is the same as back then is just flat out false. And it is. That and the thing is, for Nick to assume that we don't know our history, maybe them young ignorant niggas that you hang around don't know. Maybe these, deadbeat ass daddies that run around Cam Newton impregnating various women but don't want to be married, and coming up with all kinds of excuses as to why it's okay for you to have these multiple homes, and you standing with these women, Nick Cannon, taking Christmas photos at everybody's house. With, come on, but you're conservative. And oh, poor Amber Rose. The black girls in Philly used to pick on me for being light-skinned. So I'm a Republican because I got a white daddy. And I don't want to be biracial. I don't want to be considered black. You're not. There's nothing black about you, girl, except for the dick you ride. I'm sorry. I know it's early. And I'm like, so has Nick smashed or not? Is he trying to get some Amber Rose cootie cat? That's why he's over here making a fool of himself. I'm so sick of these celebrities. That Kitty making ain't conservative. No, he's not conservative. He's trying to get in Amber Rose's panties, and she's a former slut turned Handmaid's Tale. So, I mean, the only way to get up in her panties now, I guess, is to say you're Republican. I don't think she doesn't want to be black, but I don't think she's anti-black penis. She still wants that. Nick reps the freed slaves to hurt. Wait a minute. It's probably me. Nick the reps freed slaves to hurt the folks of the South by removing their workforce. Explain. I'm confused, El Cid. You did some smart shit and you did it in the Cliff Notes. Hey, RPC Real People Consulting. I'm not going to say all that. I'm going to just call you RPC, but she's the Real People Consulting. Yeah, I'm so over Nick Cannon and the rest of these celebrities with their foolishness. Hola, Egyptian lotus flower. Lotus Egyptian flower. Hola, ¿cómo está? Yeah, he's ignorant, and so is Chili. So let's talk about Chili, because I'm so disappointed, because I was sending T all weekend. I was sending her like clips from, this concert, this In Vogue TLC salt and pepper mashup. I was really only wanting to see In Vogue, but let's let Chili talk and then we'll talk.
I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody. And I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button. And I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and, I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him. and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. You know, I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, you know, this from me, you know, that I would never do anything so disrespectful. And I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. You know, if you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, you know, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, you know, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
I don't want to hear it. This meme right here. Okay, girl, bye is that's how we all feel. I feel like. Let's see what y'all got to say. I'm gonna go back a little bit. So El Cid said Republicans freed slaves to hurt the southern plantations, not because they like the black folks. Exactly. And child, one thing I do agree with as far as Nick Cannon is concerned is, you know, one party, two sides of the same coin. I've said that for many years, but, you know, you're picking the wrong side of the coin. And so is Chili. For her to sit up here and say, Chili, you don't support violence or anything negative. You support detaining young girls in an undisclosed location and being pregnated by ICE. You support TSA agents working for free, not being able to feed their families. That's what you support. Your money then showed it. You support other countries being starved, people in Cuba being starved, and, you know, babies hungry, lights out. No, you know what I'm saying? That's what you support, girl. So I don't know, like, you know, what your little speech is about. You say Chili is dating a Mayo boy. Yeah, she dating one of them Lawrence boys. I don't know what their affiliation is, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, it wouldn't surprise me, you know, if they were all MAGA over there. She clearly is. And I'm tired of y'all MAGAs. Stand on the business. Don't come over here talking about, only thing I believe you double clicked, but okay, maybe that was an accident. So you think it, but you didn't mean to click it. That's what I got from that. I'm not sure about her preference. I really don't follow any celebrity, not a real fan. I just catch a glimpse of the celebrity drama. That's the best way to catch it, RPC, just a glimpse, because you'll be over here with your blood pressure high like mine is, but I'm over here with y'all so we can discuss these things. Chili, the lies you tell. My concern is Peppa. I know she's mad. Every time she gets to do a concert, it falls. Listen, I don't know what her affiliation is, but it's not Peppa, it's Salt that's concerning. Honestly, when I seen the mashup, like if you see the little iHeartRadio a clip that was on, like they did this thing to launch their tour. In Vogue looks amazing. Those ladies look the same as they did 30 years ago. It was In Vogue, Salt and Pepper, and TLC, and they did this little mashup to you know, set the concert off. And unfortunately, here come Chili, because I sent the thing to my man. I was like, I want to go to this. It's in September. You can actually get really good seats for $200, just a little over $200. But at this rate, like, that's what average tickets cost, $200. And then, like, for the good seats, you would up there $2,000-$3,000. So I was like, $200 for the good seats, we can do that. We could go to Tampa, go to the beach, and make a whole thing of it. But good old Chili had to mess it up. I was so excited about this little because I feel like I miss all of the good little old school shows, and now I'm over it. She never said she supported Kamala for president, but she supported Trump after the whole intersection that follows these Republicans. She probably been that way anyway. And I feel like Chili was always maybe conservative, even though she was allegedly getting pregnant by L.A. Reid. But, you know, she has a past. We all do. I ain't never been pregnant by somebody's husband, though. Chili, now you want to be conservative. Chili Flakes is sounding insecure. Yes, she is, El Cid. I say stand on it. If that's what you support, then you support. You say, oh, child, me and these buttons today are not having a good relationship. You said Chili did not denounce anything about 45, 47. Yeah, she didn't. She came over here and was like, I did not mean to click that button twice. It was an accident. That's what she said. She didn't even say she supported, I donated. Girl, you've been donating a lot of places. We're gonna get into it. Chili never really seen it for High Vibe said she ain't never really seen it for you anyway, Chili. I was almost excited for the tour because they were coming to Arkansas. Me too, High Vibe. And like I said, I was like, $230 and I could get some good seats, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, me and my guy can have a little weekend, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he could care less about any of these groups. He would have just been going with me, but it's over. I'm not doing it. I can't, you know, because this is the thing about that. When you support them, then their money goes to allocate, you know, true religion or true whoever they call themselves over there. What's the name? Kirk's wife. I have a hard time committing these people's name to memory because I don't want to. This is what only way I would go. Call Maya. I know Maya was on a different tour and she didn't finish. If they drop TLC and pick up somebody good like Maya, then I'll be back on. But if TLC continues, and so I feel like a conversation is gonna have to be had. I feel like you said, I don't know who said that, High Vibe. I think that every time she get ready to go on a tour, Pepper, something falls in the way. She might be over there like, y'all got to go do it somewhere else. So, you know, hopefully they'll drop them and I'll still get to go. I was looking forward to seeing it in Vogue because I've never seen them perform before. What if they deported her father, who's not from here? I mean, it could happen. She'll still support. You know, she over there with her Lawrence family. Joey Lawrence is for sure Maga, not sure about his brother. They all one and the same, child. I wanted that for her. I wanted that for part of my birthday gift to myself. High Vibes, we're just really going to hope they get dropped. Let's put it out. What did Lady Beverly Hills say? Manifest. We're over here on Coffee Talk manifesting that Chili and T-Boz, who is not speaking up. She's you know, over here on the I don't really care about that. I'ma just choose God. Girl, stop. Chili, T-Boz, go back home. We're gonna manifest that we want Maya or somebody. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be a women's tour. Go get Maya and get her out of here. Because me and High Vibes, we really want to go to this show. But we cannot go knowing that, you know, Miss Maga over here is going to take our money and donate it to, you know, your president and, you know, commander of the KKK. Lotus Egyptian Flower hopes we find another concert to attend. We don't want another concert. We want In Vogue. We just want Turning Point. Yeah, Turning Point USA. I've never looked over there, like I said, because I don't really be searching for reasons to raise my blood pressure. So I don't Turning Point, but you know, Chili does. So we want to see In Vogue, Lotus Egyptian Flower. I'm speaking on behalf of High Five. I mean, I don't think we care so much about Salt and Pepper. It's whatever. And now that Salt opened her mouth, you know, we don't care about them too. we want to see in Vogue, and let's just, let's kick Chili and T-Boz out of there. That hurts my feelings to say because I've always been a big TLC fan, but now I don't want to listen to them no more. Sometimes, it gets in your head and you can't get it out. What else y'all saying over here? They need to change the name of TLC to Lisa's no longer there. I feel like, Lisa left them behind a long time ago. And I don't feel like Lisa would be MAGA. Just throwing that out there. She was a little too, hood for that. I feel like Chili was pushing T-Boz to do the concert because T-Boz don't look healthy to perform. She usually don't. T-Boz doesn't. She been around for a minute, but it don't matter because her politics. Good morning, Kiwan. Her politics is not, she ain't speaking up. I feel like complacency, there's no place for that. Now we got to readjust our whole plan, guys. Everybody needs to go through some type of vetting before they come to the cookout. We've closed the cookout to the outsiders. Now we're going to have to close the cookout to some of our own. So now we need to come up with some type of vetting process. You're going to need 3 to 4 references, before we can even interview you to allow you to come through. We're not going to waste our time just speaking to any and everybody. We need to see your music playlist. Child. Cookout. The cookout going to be small this season because these people are out here. So this lady had a little bit of breakdown on Chili that I felt like I wanted to share with y'all.
So Chili from TLC is a MAGA supporter, and I've been asked to give my thoughts. So here goes. In 2017, she said all lives matter. She got dragged, and then she walked it back. Then we find out she's following Don Jr., Tommy Lahren, Terrence Williams, and Newsmax. No progressive sites at all. Then she reposts some debunked conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama from an account that pushes flat earth and lizard people. And she never addressed it. Then, the FEC has dropped their records and nearly $800 to Trump's PAC, $63 to NRSC, and $7 to Ted Cruz. 17 donations in all. So this isn't a slip. This is a pattern. She went from no scrubs to now financing one. Now, here's where it gets complicated. T-Boz has sickle cell. She has publicly fought for the Affordable Care Act through policies that now Chili's money helps to defund. This is weird. But T-Boz knows this. She has always known this. And she is still on that tour. They just announced their tour. So either they have an understanding we're not privy to, or T-Boz is operating at a level of compartmentalizing what's going on between them. That might be a teachable moment for all of us. Because how many of us have someone we love whose politics make our stomach turn? Here. And we still show up, right? So T-Boz is modeling something a lot of us preach, but very few actually practice. That doesn't mean Chili's choices don't have consequences, because they do. The PR move is simple. Chili has to speak up, not a publicist, her, because silence right now is a confession. So I want to know from you, does this change how you feel about TLC? Will you still buy those tickets? Will you still play their music? Because this reporting is spreading. Can the damage be mitigated, or has the internet already decided? I want to hear you in the comments. What are you thinking? Do you care or nah?
I care. And I'm not going to be spending my money over there. One thing she said is how many of us have people in our lives that we care about whose politics make our stomach turn? Not me. I don't. If I find out your politics are not aligned, you know what I'm saying? I even back off right now with people who say I don't vote. Because I feel like not voting is a choice that, complacency, compartmentalizing, I can't do any of it. If that's how you rolling, I'm just not fooling with you straight up. Because the question, when you're talking about young teenage girls getting raped and sent to an undisclosed island. The stuff you're supporting just doesn't make sense to me, and I can't rock with it. So you can't, for me, you can't justify or compartmentalize or any of those things. You know, for me, it just doesn't work. Manifesting TLC gets canceled from the tour. That's what we're doing, High Vibe, because we want to go. We want to go see In Vogue. Adina Howard to replace TLC. I'd rather have Maya, only because I know more of her songs. But you know, a replacement is a replacement. Chili gonna be Erika Kirk next guest. She can sit on her couch or her chair or whatever and talk about how they need to protect the white mailmen. Ciao. Because that's what it looks like. So I wonder, does T-Boz need the money? T has said earlier that she ain't looking healthy. Does she need the money? Is that why you're willing? But I feel like this her friend, this her sister from all these years back. She been new. Yeah, we gonna catch a good show. I feel like she's gonna get dumped. I don't feel like this is gonna go anywhere. And I feel like this is an In Vogue tour. So we might have to make some changes, child. In Vogue, SWV still out here touring. I would love that. We need to pull up voting records, voting records. This is for the people that, you know, are trying to get to the cookout. We want to see who you voted, how you voted. And I'm going to say this. I'm so proud of my children because I was late. I was a late bloomer in my, you know, college years. My mother definitely tried to encourage it, but I was one of those, I don't care, you know, and then, you know, I smartened up really quickly. My kids have voted since they turned 18. So, and I don't need to convince them. My son participated, you know, he experienced like going out and protesting. So, you know, as a mom, I'm proud that they understand their politics. My youngest one, she will come in and, you know, bring things to my attention. And so my kids are, and I feel like this generation, have access to information, and the ones that are involved. We need your voting records. We need to see what your music playlists look like. Are you over there listening to Kid Rock? We need to know. Yes, your social media, and we need this to go back for the last how many years? 10 years? I feel like 10 years is enough for you to have come to an understanding of, you know, what right is right and wrong is wrong. T-Buzz is Chili's co-worker. I have co-workers who I'm sure their politics don't align. I don't talk to them. I say hello and that's it. That's all I have, you know? So I don't have to make small talk. I don't care what goes on in your personal life, and I'm not telling you what goes on in mine. Unfortunately for me, I don't get to decide who works there, but, you know, yeah, I don't F with you, period. Donations. Oh, it says, and donations at High Vibe. I need to monitor closely who I spend my hard-earned money on. I be trying to let y'all know I do my best. Yesterday, T was asking me like about hardware stores and who can replace. I don't have the list of everything, but I do try to share with y'all when I find out, because those little things matter, because they take our money and then, you know, put it in their pot. And that's not what we're spending our money for. They never gave sisterhood like SWV, even when Lisa was alive. Lisa didn't fool with them. And I can speak personally to that because I knew Lisa. She didn't fool with them like that. She had her own group of friends. I knew Lisa like, probably about 4 or 5 years before she passed away. And I knew who her friends were. They used to frequent our club. And T-Boz and Chili were never there. Lisa did not hang out with them in her personal life. She was over there with Andre and his friends and her friends. So they were definitely co-workers for her. And we see Lisa separated from them. Maya to replace TLC. Let's put that out there. Let's start a petition. We want Maya. We don't want TLC. And honestly, like, y'all can let Salt and Pepper open, and I don't got to be on time, you know what I mean, to see them either, because I don't be feeling Salt. She looks fantastic. Oh, Motown Investor, thank you so much. She said she's been a subscriber since the beginning. So you have seen where I came from, child, to where I am now. There was a time where you were not going to catch me doing a live for any reason. But I do enjoy talking to y'all. Give me SWV put on a good show. I just seen them, they now that they got J Bolin styling them, they look good, they sound good. Take leave carefully. TLC. We can come up with a lot of acronyms for TLC. I think that was a nice one because the way my brain worked. You need a full social media summary. My social media summary, it's been black since conception, so I'm not worried. And, some of y'all might need to be, not y'all, but y'all, because I know y'all are solid. We need a social media facts report. Too low common sense. There we go. We're not getting our TLC acronyms together. Oh, my God. They weren't friends before the group. They were created by a label. Actually, I believe Lisa and T-Boz were friends because they used to hang out and go skating and stuff together. And then Chili came in because Chili replaced Crystal, the original member. So, and they were young. So I feel like at some point they were friends. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Lisa as an adult, she did her own thing. So yeah, they were somewhat created by the label, but it was just Chili. She was an outsider, but I guess I feel like what had happened was Lisa got with Andre, and you know how that is when the boyfriend gets in the situation. Chili got with Dallas, and I don't know what T-Boz was over there doing. She was with one of them, Jodeci, Delvin or Devontae, one of them. So, once the boyfriends and stuff got in the way, and then they had so many issues. They were one of my favorite groups. I'm not going to lie. But now I don't even want to hear it because, I can't compartmentalize. Unfortunately, I'm going to be thinking about how, this lady is Maga over here. So I don't want to hear it. I'm good on salt and pepper too. Spin is there on the show. I hate how they did her. I'm sorry, but I thought clearly Spin is on the show. She's on the tour. So they have, figured out, they have figured things out. So yeah, but I could take them or leave them. We could replace both of them. I don't think though it's necessary to replace Salt and Pepper because they haven't necessarily done anything, although Salt has a big mouth. But yeah, Spin is on the tour. Your social media is all over because you need to see what they teach each other. So mine is your social media is suspect. You got co-signers over here. And as long as you're doing it for research purposes, I told you, what is it, True Social? I don't go over there. So somebody got to go. We're going to give you on the road, out on the field correspondent. You get those type of, credentials, El Cid, for, somebody got to go bring us the information so we know what we discussing at the cookout. So, not everybody, don't everybody run over to True Social because it might affect, you red flag you, so send your questions through El Cid. You know why? Because you better ask El Cid. That's why. Chili slept her way into group. I don't know that she slept her way in. I feel like I started with, when you look at somebody's outside appearance versus their spirit, she was, brown skinned girl with European features and wavy hair. And so she fit a certain aesthetic. She was the right size because they're all tiny little girls, ladies. And so, yeah, she didn't start sleeping with the folks though until she got in there. She was messing with Dallas and allegedly LA Reid as well. I get into the white people business because it's funny as heck. And a lot of times we ain't that bad. Some of us are. If we talking about this concert that me and High Vibe is trying to get to, but Chili over here messing it up for everybody. Whew. You're going to name you Carmen Sandiego? Yeah. You need to name her Where's Waldo, because she's not about to tell you where she at. So this is what Chili wanted to say. She came back with another after she said what she said, and the people said, "Girl, bye." She said, "I want to be clear. I am not MAGA. I do not support any of the many policies that are causing great harm to the American people. I made a mistake. Too many. What did she say? I made a mistake. Too many make many. I don't know what that means. I did not read the fine print. Girl, shut up. I thought I was supporting a cause against human trafficking. Shut up. For veterans, two things I care deeply about, and my dad's a veteran, and everyone knows I love children. Everybody don't know that, girl. I have to learn a valuable lesson and ask for grace." So she's still over here, trying to back up what she said, the first time that we didn't believe. We still don't believe her because, she's been called out about who she follows and things of that nature. So here comes Salt. Salt and Pepper's Cheryl Salt James has come to the defense of TLC's Rosanda Chili Thomas after reports broke claiming the No Scrub Singers sent handfuls of donations to President Donald Trump's 2024 campaign and GOP colleagues, and also amid backlash of Chili reposting conspiracy about former First Lady Michelle Obama. As we shared last night, the FEC records surfaced online showing Rosanda Thomas of Stone Mountain, Georgia, donating nearly $1,000 to Trump's campaign and Republican colleagues. Chili ended up addressing the report and insisted she is not MAGA and that any of her political donations were meant to help veterans and stop human trafficking. Really, your money went to promote human trafficking on an island of young girls who came up pregnant. How about that? Additionally, Chili addressed reports of her reposting an article claiming Michelle Obama once registered to vote as a man in 1994. According to Illinois State Board of Elections, Chili insisted she has utmost respect for and admiration for Michelle and accidentally hit the repost button. After Chili broke silence to defend herself against MAGA allegations, a fellow 90s music legend, Salt of Salt and Pepper, rushed to defend her. Salt told her sister, Chili, to please keep your pretty head up all the way up. She also told critics, "Y'all, it was an accident, and I believe her. If my own sister made a mistake, I'd believe her." As we previously mentioned, the allegations against Chili arise days after TLC, Salt and Pepper, In Vogue announced their first ever co-headlining tour. See, you over here defending Chili. Did you know all the rest of the stuff she was over there doing? That's why we don't necessarily need Salt and Pepper on the tour either. I was excited to see Spin 2. I can care less about Salt and Pepper. Listen, we just need to make some changes on the roster. They remove. You said no, because they will remove me from the area. You need a bland name. Oh, you talking about Carmen Sandiego? I said, "Where's Waldo?" You said, "I'm going to have icy moments for my members to get into their business." I'm here for it. I'll be there. Yes. Salt just defended Chili because she believes that she accidentally double-clicked. I believe she accidentally double-clicked too. I don't believe that she necessarily doesn't believe it, but I think she didn't mean to double-click it. I think she, co-signs for all of that foolishness over there. Yes, you explained donating to Ted Cruz, who sat up here and let this man call his wife ugly, and he's still over there supporting. Oh, he's so upset at Druski, that Ted Cruz. $7. What is, girl? She donated $7 to Ted Cruz. She was trying to spread that money around. That $1,000 that she didn't read the fine print about. I don't think you need any fine print to donate to Ted Cruz. I think that message is very clear. So what is your excuse to that? Salt is always on the wrong side. She is, but I feel like Salt is uber conservative because when they got that show, when they got back together, all of a sudden she didn't want to sing what a Man," or whatever song she wasn't willing to sing. Why? The street said her man plays for the other team, and I'm not bringing up gossip that ain't already out in the street. The street said that her man was over there trying to find a man of his own. We need a wellness check on Pep. Pep ain't been right since she was on Growing Up Hip Hop. Last time we seen Pep, she was down to the boxing ring watching her daughter get obliterated by an Olympian. We, the Gen X delegation of Black women, during this summer of Black women's hereby request a trade of SNP and TLC for SWV and Maya. Yes. Can we start that petition, please? If Zayn wants to reunite with Janae, oh yeah, I like them too. It's that If I Could. Is that Janae? Yeah, I think I like them. It's other girl groups from the 90s that Janae can reunite for that. We just want to get rid of Salt and Pepper and TLC. Because, it's early. We just made the announcement. We got until September over here. That's where it is. So we got, what is this? By the end of April, let's have replaced this situation so we can get, into the things that are good. Can the millennials get a vote to bring Lauryn Hill? No, Lotus Egyptian Flower. We do not want Lauryn Hill because she gonna make us late. And so, yeah, no, she can't come because we don't know what Lauryn be on. We know she got, some bills to pay, but if she's not going to sing anything from that one album that we all love, then no, pick somebody else, Lotus Egyptian Flower. We're going to go ahead and veto Lauryn Hill, but because we want artists that are actually going to show up. What else is going on? Do I have more? I think I have more. Ooh, I think I'm done with chili though. Let's see. Yeah, we can get rid of Salt and Pepper. Okay, this is an update. Quick update. Marlo said she was not nowhere near Tyler Perry down there.
I'm never going to talk about dating. First of all, y'all are crazy if you don't know what looks like AI now. And leave it alone. I've been on the show for over 10 years. Y'all have never seen me with a man. I do not talk my personal life usually with a man. Y'all just know that's not me. So come on. You're going to get fashion. You're going to get me. Some things you just got to keep to yourself, okay? Some things.
That's a lesson in itself.
No, but some things you do got to keep to yourself.
You do have to keep some things to yourself.
Y'all get too much away. That's why it's just, when I'm in a relationship and I'm blocked and loaded with someone, y'all will see it. But if they don't see me saying anything in our relationship. Now I give y'all my damn advice about dating and stuff, but that's about it. But move on. There's so much other stuff to talk about. All right, dating.
Girl, we knew you wasn't in a relationship with Tyler Perry. So that's not ever been a question. We were clear. You say Lauryn may remix the songs to an unrecognizable level and she'll show up midnight. Yeah, we already be in our car on our way back home by the time Lauryn Hill show up. Yeah, so I feel like this was another stunt. Tyler Perry was playing with us. You know what I'm saying? The AI photo, we halfway figured it was AI. I did the story last week. This is the thing. Y'all still set that up. I'm not sure that Tyler Perry didn't do it. Did Tyler Perry put out that AI photo? Probably. Then he ran over to the airport with a bag of cash to disrupt the day. Tyler Perry is over here trying to get us to forget that he was over here requiring people to bend over for Hennessy, and he's not going to beat those allegations either. So, yeah, thank you, Marlo, for clearing that up. But I feel like we already knew wasn't nothing going on with you and Tyler Perry. Now, this one right here, I want to see this documentary if that's what this is. But how many of y'all grew up on The Price is Right? Because I did.
That Bob did mention if she had ever been with any other person that was black, that he would not be happy and that he thought they might have had some kind of communicable disease or something.
And sure enough, when Bob found out about Diane having slept with black men. He called her into his dressing room, and they had the screaming fight of all time.
He went off. The shit hit the fan. Oh my God.
The whole set was dead silent, listening. And Diane comes out of Bob's dressing room and goes up the stairs. And Bob's assistant is running after her saying, Diane, you've got to apologize to Bob. And Diane turns around at the top of the stairs. It's like the scene from Romeo and Juliet. And she's standing at the top of the stairs, and the whole set, dead silent, is watching. And Diane says, I have sucked his too many times to start kissing his ass now. Woo!
I'm like, what? It did not go over well with Barker.
One of the producers standing next to me said, dang, who writes her stuff? I know that Bob is sleeping with Diane. Oh my gosh. Bob has no idea that he has had sex with a woman who has had sex with black men. Bob has always said that black men are the most diseased.
Something happened with the sound. It went low. But okay. Former show models say the Price is Right host Bob Barker was allegedly very racist. That wasn't alleged. Went off on a woman who he was dealing with for sleeping with black men. Reportedly said black men are the most diseased people on earth and refused to hug black contestants. I remember that. I remember my mother, you know, we used to watch Price is Right. And my mother used to be like, look how he does the black women. He would like swerve on them and they would be so excited to get up there and hug him. And he would not do it. So former models referred to as beauties, Barker beauties, share the dark past of the show on a new episode of Dirty Rotten Scandals. I will be checking that out. So I'm going to check that out and we can come back and talk about it. That'll be Thursday's topic, Dirty Rotten Scandals. One of the models, Kathleen Bradley, said she faced a death with a terrible environment as the show's first black model. Okay. And she was so pretty back in the day. She recalls there even being racial slurs used behind the scenes. Claudia Jordan, who shared that there was discrimination. She also, I seen her on Claudia's show the other day. She alleged there was an order from Bob to only allow 2 black contestants on the show at a time. Wow. And that there would be and he would shrink himself if black contestants attempted to hug him. He did. He's seen in the clip telling one of the black contestants not to attack him or touch him. It was reported that Bob had sexual relationship with the show model Diane Parkinson and was disgusted after finding out that she had previously slept with black men. The two allegedly had a shouting match in his dressing room that everyone on set could hear. It was always mentioned that Bob allegedly referred to black men as the most diseased people on earth. Barker, who died in 2023, denied all allegations during lifetime. I wish he was still alive so we could cancel his ass today. I can't stand Bob anymore. Yeah. I remember when my son was little, like people would get a kick out of him impersonating Bob Barker because, you know, he liked The Price is Right. They better roast Bob like they did Tyra. Well, we are. I'm going to watch this episode. It's called Child, here I go, pushing the wrong buttons again. Where is it at? Dirty Rotten Scandals. Dirty Rotten Scandals. I'm gonna go find that probably, you know, sometimes tomorrow or Wednesday, and we can talk about it on Thursday. I grew up on Price is Right, and I feel like a lot of us Gen X did. Like Price is Right is the GOAT was of all game shows, even though we found out that people wasn't even getting their prizes and things. But that's all I got today. It's time for lunch, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. You know, I love it. It's a manic Monday, and we made it on through at least this part of the morning. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all tomorrow for another coffee talk. So yeah, bye y'all.